A pickup truck, a gun, then an inferno. A former Marine turns a Michigan church into a scene of horror. Plus, not again. Washington teeters on the edge of a shutdown, with neither side blinking and millions of paychecks on the line. And double trouble in the Atlantic. Hurricane Humberto and Tropical Storm Imelda churn side by side. The stories that matter, clear and credible, from across the country to around the world. These are your unbiased updates from Straight Arrow News. Good morning, I'm Craig DeGrelli. We begin this morning in Michigan, where a former Marine turned a Sunday service into a scene of horror. Police say he rammed his pickup into a Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, opened fire, then set the building on fire about an hour northwest of Detroit. You see the smoke there. Officers shot and killed him, but not before 4 people were dead and at least 8 others hurt. The gunman has been identified as 40-year-old Iraq War veteran Thomas Jacob Sanford. Police are still combing through the charred rubble this morning, searching for any additional victims. The Grand Blanc Township Police Chief says some people are still unaccounted for. Investigators believe Sanford used an accelerant to ignite the blaze. The church this morning is a total loss.
For this incident, the fire started basically the suspect. All indications on this investigation are the suspect used an accelerant of some sort, we believe gasoline, and lit the church on fire.
Was it an IED he may have used?
There are, at this point, I'm not going to comment on IEDs. I will confirm that there were some suspected explosive devices that were located. But as far as using them to initiate the blaze, I can't say that.
The FBI is leading the case, calling it an act of targeted violence, but a motive has not been confirmed. Michigan State Police say Sunday night brought even more fear. Additional bomb threats across the community. Some devices were found, but officials are not releasing details. President Trump responded on Truth Social, calling it yet another targeted attack on Christians in the United States. He said he has been briefed and declared this epidemic of violence must end immediately. President Trump will be crashing an extraordinary gathering of America's top leaders tomorrow. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth had ordered every one-star general and above to Quantico tomorrow for what was billed as a short speech on warrior ethos. Now the White House confirms the president himself will attend, a last-minute move that instantly overshadows Hegseth's role and adds a heavy layer of security. Trump told NBC News Sunday it's just a pep talk, quote, an esprit de corps moment to celebrate how well the military is doing. But with hundreds of generals and admirals summoned from around the world, some flying in from the Middle East and the Pacific, critics say the cost, the risk of having so much brass in one place, and the timing, just days before a possible government shutdown, all raise serious concerns. President Trump says a government shutdown is now looking likely after tomorrow. In a phone interview with CBS News Sunday, the president said he does not see, quote, how we're going to solve this issue before Tuesday's deadline. Negotiations remain at a stalemate, with Democrats insisting on health care funding in the bill and Republicans refusing to budge. Trump is set to host top congressional leaders this afternoon, Schumer, Thune, Johnson, and Jeffries, for one more round of talks. The House has already passed a stopgap bill to keep the government funded for 7 weeks, while Congress hammers out long-term spending. But unless there's a breakthrough, a shutdown will hit at midnight Tuesday. New York City will have a new mayor come January 1st. Incumbent Eric Adams is dropping his re-election bid as an independent. Adams announced in a video posted on X that media speculation about his future and a finance board decision to withhold millions of dollars in public funds forced him to call it quits. So it's one term and out. Adams had been running 4th in the polls, far behind frontrunner Zoran Mamdani, a Democratic socialist. Political experts say his exit could give a slight boost to Andrew Cuomo's comeback bid. There's also speculation Adams may join the Trump administration. Earlier this year, the Trump Justice Department dropped a federal probe into Adams as his popularity at City Hall plummeted amid scandals involving top aides. Now he's bowing out after just 4 years. To the tropics now, where 2 powerful storms are spinning side by side. You're about to see on satellite here Hurricane Humberto churning in the Atlantic. Still a dangerous Category 4 storm. While just to the left of it there, that's Tropical Storm Imelda. It has formed near the Bahamas. Imelda is expected to strengthen into a hurricane as it tracks north before curving away from the U.S. East Coast by midweek. But in the Bahamas, the impact is already being felt. Streets in Nassau are flooding, flights canceled, and gusty winds are keeping boats docked and beaches empty. Forecasters warn parts of the island could see up to a foot of rain and dangerous storm surge. Humberto, meantime, is taking aim at Bermuda, where a tropical storm watch is in effect. The storm is not expected to make a U.S. landfall, but dangerous surf and rip currents will batter much of the East Coast this week. From San Juan to the Super Bowl, Puerto Rican superstar Bad Bunny is taking over the biggest stage in sports. The NFL made it official last night, announcing the three-time Grammy winner will headline the Super Bowl this February at Levi's Stadium in San Francisco. Bad Bunny calling it a, quote, touchdown for my people, my culture, and our history. His music has put Spanish-language hits at the top of the global charts. The show will be produced by Jay-Z's Rock Nation in partnership with Apple Music. The Super Bowl halftime show is consistently the most watched performance of the year. Last year's halftime entertainment with Kendrick Lamar drew more than 130 million viewers. Finally this morning, a story that will have you smiling, laughing, and maybe even shedding a tear. A 95-year-old man from Omaha, Nebraska often has one of these in hand, a fan with Taylor Swift's picture on it. In fact, he might be the oldest Taylor Swift fan in the entire country. 95-year-old Frank Urias is a resident at Remington Heights Retirement Community, only about 5 miles from the Straight Arrow News studios here in Nebraska. Over the last month or so, Frank started listening to Taylor Swift music and reading about the pop superstar. He was hooked and has now started a Taylor Swift fan club at the nursing home that involves dozens of his fellow residents.
My goal is to make sure that we are bound together and love each other because we have such a short time ahead of us.
They are sending a card to Taylor Swift and hoping one day she might walk through the doors of Remington Heights and pay them a visit.
We love you, Taylor!
Watch and read my full story on Straight Arrow News on some of the oldest yet energetic Swifties. It's up on SAN.com and the SAN app right now. I can tell you, you'll want to see this. Frank, he's 95 years old, but he's such a character, such a really a happy guy, so full of positive energy. You got to see the story. All right, before we head out, here's what we're tracking today. At 10, the House Judiciary Oversight Subcommittee holds a field hearing in Charlotte on violent crime and repeat offenders. Then at 11, President Trump welcomes Israel's Benjamin Netanyahu to the White House. They will hold a press conference in the 1 p.m. hour. At noon, the suspect in the Charlie Kirk shooting, Tyler Robinson, heads to court for a waiver hearing. And later today, Trump huddles with congressional leaders as a government shutdown deadline looms midweek. Breaking news, your inbox deserves better. Fix it with our Unbiased Updates newsletter. Sign up at san.com/newsletters. Those are your Unbiased Updates for this Monday. We'll see you back here tomorrow. For all of us here at Straight Arrow News, I'm Craig DeGrelli. Have a great day.